welcome to our show. We want to talk about this problem that is, it looks like is happening between Nigeria and Ghana, and then there is another protest in South Africa. These two countries are calling for Nigerians to leave. I think some of their grievances is that Nigerians exerting some dominance over them. I think the biggest complaint is indeed in Ghana, an Igbo king, essentially that is just for the Igbos in Ghana, and is trying to build a palace or build a kingdom for him and his kinsmen. And it looks like, from the look of things, it looks like the Ghanaian president approved of this decision. I don't know his motive or his reason for approving it, but for some reason he approved it. It could maybe it has to do with the fact that the Ghanaian president have lived in Nigeria before. I don't know his reasoning, but the Ghanaian citizens are just calling for the Igbos to leave, that they have caused them too much harms. In South Africa, the same thing. Essentially, they are complaining that Nigerians have taken over their women, they have taken over their streets, they have littered their streets with drugs and stuff like that, and prostitution. So, and these are just two. Then over here in America, they have reduced their distance to just single entry for 3 months as opposed to 5 years, multiple entries. And in Canada, they haven't quite restricted them, but they have put some measure that will probably prevent them from going there frequently. And in Dubai, they have essentially almost restrict their movement, because they're saying that in Dubai, if you are between the age of 16 and be 18 to 45, you have to be accompanied by someone older than you. And the person has to have a particular amount of money in his bank account before they can make that travel. And we just want to look at all of this. Maybe we'll start with the Ghana issue. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Ghanaians and Nigerians are brothers. They're neighbors. They're next to each other. They're right there. They have a lot of things in common. They have a lot of things in common than a lot of differences. So we have the same skin color, accent, they're closely related. I believe we all speak Pidgin English. Our culture are very similar. And especially uh with with history. There's a lot of history between Nigeria and Ghana. And I know that Ghanaians first migrated into Nigeria a long time ago. And I think it was in 1983 that Nigerians asked the Ghanaians and Nigerians to leave, because I think at that point, Nigeria was doing better economically and a lot of migrants were coming into the country. But Nigerians ended up revolting against Ghanaians, which brought about the phrase Ghana must go. So is this a payback? Is this history repeating itself? Nigerians and Ghanaians are both brothers. Our food are very similar. Our culture are very similar. It's just unfortunate that some Nigerians are making a lot of Nigerians look bad out there. I mean, if you were to come to my house, I accepted you, and then you're overstaying your welcome, the right thing for me to do is to tell you to leave. And if you don't leave, I'll get every means possible to get you to leave my house. So I understand if Ghanaians want some Nigerians out of their country because they are overtaking the entertainment industry, they're overtaking their business, they're overtaking a lot of their trade sectors, and it's making the Ghanaians look bad. So Ghanaians want to be able to have a say in their own country. They want to be able to limit the influence of Nigerians in their country. And I mean, it's okay. They can ask them to leave, but if you really think about it, our countries, we always be changing our culture. We always be evolving. The people, we always be evolving. So saying or asking Nigerians to leave, I think it's just short-sightedness. In the next 50 years, I see the culture changing. I see a lot of people relating with each other and basically mingling with each other. And that way, you're not going to be able to differentiate whether this person is Nigerian or this person is Ghanaian. Ghanaians are overreacting. I think it's probably out of jealousy. And I think Nigerians out there should do better and be a good representative of their country. Follow the law, make sure that they're not disrespecting the laws of the land, and to make sure they're representing all the Nigerians out there in a very good light.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think the moral of the story is that when you are in Rome, you behave like Romans. When you travel to someone else's, country, do not try to impose yourself on those people, or do not try to carve out a place for yourself, and then just live like a visitor. I've always said it. In fact, even before we came on the studio, I was telling you that I don't know why Igbos are fond of doing this. Wherever they go, they try to have a leader, and by so doing, they always name the person a king, is something like that. So I don't know why they always do it all around the world, even within Nigeria. Anywhere they have like a group of them, they will always have it. When I was in Warri, they had it in Warri. Even in the market, they have it. If you go to Lagos, if you go, in fact, they even had a problem with Edo State, people in Edo State, when they, put out posters that they want to, do coronation for one of their Igwes in Edo State. So I don't know why they always do it. I'm not sure if it is just to have a leader figure. I'm not sure exactly. But I think Ghanaians are overreacting. For their president to approve it, it looks like there is a relationship between Ghanaians, the Ghana government, and those people. Maybe you never know. These politicians, they don't always tell the truth. Maybe those people actively, funded his campaign, helped him out when he was campaigning, or there is some kind of relationship between him and those people, maybe that particular Eze. You know how these politicians sometimes, they make a deal that, is not in the interest of the people, that people do not know the whole specifics. They could have helped him when he was campaigning. They could have helped him with money. They could have helped him, talk to people. I don't know. I'm not saying that that was what happened. I'm just saying that there are possibilities that those things happen. Because for him to endorse it, for him to approve of that, it means that there is more that meet the eye than what we know. But I also think that Ghanaians are overreacting, because if they ask all the Nigerians to leave Ghana, Ghana will be a shadow of itself. There is nothing else going on in Ghana. They don't own anything. There is nothing that goes on. The food they don't have nothing. In fact, even if you want to take it, if we want to take it back to years back, Nigeria actually took care of Ghana like a kid brother, like a way that you take care of your kid brother or your kid sister. Nigeria took care of Ghana until they got their country together, and then they went back. There was Ghana was good, something like that. Maybe history is just repeating itself. South Africa, Nigeria took care of South Africa. In fact, a lot of older generations, they still remember how they were removing money from their salaries to pay people in Liberia and even the people in South Africa. So if today these two countries, because there has not been problem from Liberia yet, if today these two countries are trying to act up, assert their dominance or start their independence and ask Nigerian to leave, in fact, even in South Africa, I don't think Nigeria is the problem in South Africa. Nigerians are not the problem in the South Africa. Even South Africans, the black South Africans are not even free in South Africa. They are owned by the white people. So how come they haven't been able to chase those white people away? So we come back to Ghana. I think Ghanaians are overreacting. I think Nigerians have a lot of businesses. UBA has a branch in Ghana. I think Nigeria still gives Ghana light, if I'm not mistaken. Nigerians, major corporations in Nigeria still have big businesses in Ghana that if they decide to pull out, it will shake Ghana's economy. I think this protest is coming out from Gen Zs and stuff, people that don't really know their history, that don't really know, what is going on. I think they should just chill out, look for amicable solution to it. I saw on the newspaper that the Igbos have ceased to give people that title of Igbo, because I think that has been causing problems yet again. I think that's a step in the right direction. Ghanaians and Nigerians, I think they should look for a way to live, together. But if you go through social media, if you go through X, you go through TikTok, um, you go through Instagram, even Facebook, there is something that is consistent. A lot of people, a lot of African countries, whether you want to talk about Cameroonians, you want to talk about other African countries apart from Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, everybody is blaming Nigeria. They say we are too obnoxious. They say we are too loud. We are too proud of ourselves. We are very condescending people. We do not regard people. From my experience here, I don't think that's the case. When I worked in correction, I worked with a Ghanaian. Till today, we are still friends. He still comes to my house. Best of friends. In fact, he's probably older than me with close to 20 years, but he still comes to my house and we are best of friends. When we work together, we're best of friends. Till now, he still comes to my house. So I never have reason to put people in a condescending way, especially people from other African countries. It looks like everybody's just hating on Nigeria, but that's just my take. I'm not sure what you think.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of successful Nigerians out there and tons of successful Ghanaians out there as well. Nigerians are very hardworking. I know Ghanaians are hardworking as well. So wherever you go, if you don't find a Nigeria, you need to move. If you don't find a Nigeria, if you can't find a Nigeria in your community, you need to move. And I'm sure there are bad eggs in the Nigerian communities that will make the Nigerians look bad. But for the most part, a lot of Nigerians are hardworking. They are law-abiding citizens of whichever country they find themselves. So we should just keep all the hates away from each other and continue to live in peace, love, and harmony. I'd like to say something to the action of the Ghanaian president. I think it's a good thing. The president is supposed to protect his people. The president is supposed to listen to his people and do what they want. But at the same time, while satisfying the people, they should also think about the international relations issue that this move could cause. And it'll be a great idea for both Nigerians and Ghanaians to continue their partnership wherever they are, whether inside of Africa or outside of Africa. We have a lot in common. Our foods are very common, entertainment. Talk about Afro beats, talk about the movie industries, talk about football, right? Talk about soccer matches. We have some friendly banters back and forth, but we should all remember we are all one African nation. We need to support each other and help each other out as much as we can. If you find a bad egg amongst you, make sure you report them to the necessary authority and let the law take its course. Don't try to do any jungle justice. Don't try to lynch each other in the streets. We're all brothers and sisters. Let's continue to live in peace, love, and harmony.
Yeah. And before I used to think that all of this is just jokes, especially when we play our footballs together. Maybe we win them or they win us. But there is always back and forth with them. So I always thought it's a joke. But right now, it's beginning to look like it's jealousy. In fact, I listened to one lady on TikTok, the way she bashed Nigerians, she talked about Nigerians. And the funny thing is that the video she made, she did not make that video in Ghana. She probably is living in the diaspora. And you would think that the people in the diaspora, let's say in the US, Canada, any other country for that matter, apart from, outside of Ghana or Nigeria, you would think that these people will probably have more sense than the people back home. But sometimes you get disappointed that even people that are supposedly exposed, they are worse with this ethnic thing and xenophobic and whatever. They are worse. In fact, if you come back to Nigeria, the issue between the Yorubas and the Igbos and the Hausas and stuff like that, the ones that are not living in the country are the ones that drum that support most. And you would think that they will be the ones to tell the people back home that, hey, calm down. This is not serious. Life is way more than this. There is life outside of Nigeria. But no, those ones in the diaspora, they are the worst. And this is why they always say it's not every dog you see on the road that you feed. Some of them you feed them and that's all they need to bite you. They are just looking for that strength to bite you. So I see a lot of them on TikTok. In fact, that lady was saying that she cannot understand why they named Nigeria Giant of Africa. That it must have been due to the population. It's not because they are productive. It's not because we are productive. Well, I'm almost tempted to believe her because nothing seems to be working. So why are we Giant of Africa? Is it by population? Maybe it's just by population. So if Nigeria ever get back on her foot, I think they should be mindful of people they help. They should be mindful of people they give their money to. They give assistance, humanitarian assistance to. These are the countries that they help. These are the countries that our parents they deducted money from their salary to send to to send to these countries, and it's just unfortunate, especially with South Africa during their apartheid period. Nigeria really played a very big role, and today all of that is in the past. Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, people tend to forget history, especially when history is not being taught in school. History is important. And history needs to be part of our curriculum in whichever country we're part of, so we can know where we're coming from. Nigeria and Ghana, and most especially a lot of these Western countries in Africa, they have great relationship with Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria used to be the giant of Africa. Our economy used to be strong. The dollar, the pound, and the naira used to be right next to each other, neck and neck. But unfortunately, due to bad leadership, we've lost a lot. The economy has significantly reduced. We're not where we need to be. So it's okay. It's okay. We can give them the points that we're no longer the giants of Africa, but we used to be, and we need to work towards getting back on that track. And it shouldn't just be about the population alone. It should be about what Nigerians bring to the table. Nigerians outside of Nigeria, if you meet them, they're great people. They're great business people, great leaders in different industries. Don't agree with the idea that Nigerians are bad people or Nigerians are leeches. Nigerians are good people, and they're very hardworking. If you go to hospitals, you find Nigerian doctors, you find scientists, you find Nigerians in great places all over the world. I just want to encourage everybody out there. Let's take it easy. Life shouldn't be this difficult. Let's help each other out as much as we can. And remember your neighbor, they are your friends. And try to keep good friends and try to live a life that is worthy of emulation. So thank you for watching us. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and see you later.
Thank you.